birth certificate before they're allowed to run for president of the United States.
All right, so here we go with the birth certificate thing. And every time I mention that birth certificate thing, people start yelling at me and calling me crazy, go nuts. So what is the newest, the latest on the birth certificate thing, or have you given up on it?
No, I think the birth certificate has to be distinguished. I'm not saying that I claim or know that President Obama was born somewhere other than Hawaii. That's not my claim.
Mm-hmm.
My issue is, I'm an investigative reporter, Rusty, and when people hide records, politicians, they're hiding something material. So my point is, why can't we just see the original long-form birth certificate, the doctor of the hospital? Why is this a national security document that has to be hidden from the American people? The same as President Obama's school records. Who paid for President Obama at Occidental and when he went to Columbia? Did he register as a foreign exchange student? Did he travel to Pakistan with an Indonesian passport? Why can't we see the passport records? I'm saying, look, I'm willing to assume that everything's exactly like President Obama says it is, but why can't we see the documentation that proves President Obama's right?
Right. And again, is this as what you asked for? I don't think is that much to ask for. You know, I asked that of Sarah Palin. It became international news. Why do you think it's something that needs to be hidden? Why do you think they want to hide it so much?
Well, you know, again, when I went to Harvard, I failed to take the mind reading course. I really wish I had done that. I'd have been much farther ahead. But I don't know why President Obama is hiding so many documents about his background. But I think that if we can get them in front of the American people will have the chance to prove for themselves that he's telling the truth about his background. And Rusty, every time I investigate President Obama's stories about his background, I find lies.
Really? Like what?
Well, in Dreams from My Father, one of the I like to say now the nativity story. President Obama says, well, his mother stayed in Hawaii until his father, Barack Obama Sr., left in 1962, about a year or so after he was born, to go to Hawaii, to go to Harvard. From Hawaii to go to Harvard to get his master's, and ultimately he wanted to get a PhD, which he didn't get. Well, the truth is that I got the records. I got the address records where everybody lived. Barack Obama Sr. always had his own apartment.
Huh.
Within 3 weeks of when the baby was born, Ann Dunham was in Seattle, first taking extension school classes, then registered full-time as a student. Ann Dunham left Hawaii, contrary to the nativity story, and never returned to Hawaii until the father, Barack Obama Sr., had left in 1962 to go to Harvard. So that's a fundamental lie that Barack Obama's told about his past. Now, maybe Barack Obama didn't know,
right? He's a kid.
Maybe he didn't know. But, you know, I published it. I got the records, and I'm saying here, let's get all the records. If we'd have the records, we wouldn't have to deal with surfacing lies.
Dr. Jerome Corsi here on the Rusty Humphries Show. The book being reissued right now in paper book, The Obama Nation. What is the most shocking revelation in that book, in your opinion?
Well, I think it's really the background of Barack Obama, having been his mentor when he was in Hawaii in high school, Frank Marshall Davis, a communist professor.
Pedophile.
Right, and you know, also going to I document extensively the relationship with Reverend Wright and the Black Liberation Theology, which is a very leftist revolutionary form of Christianity, which says that, you know, Jesus Christ historically was Palestinian black, and that we need to have the Romans of the ancient world were the imperialists and colonialists. We're the imperialists and colonialists. We need a liberation movement, black liberation theology, in order to overcome the United States. It was not just one speech that Reverend Wright gave, which was GD, USA. It was a whole, it's core to the religion. And so, you know, when you look at President Obama's background, there's denial of a lot of truth. And the Obama Nation did a lot to bring that forward and give people the background of really seeing the historical connections, and who Barack Obama is, where he came from, how a person's educated, who their mentors are, what they learned in school, what they learned in religion. These are important formative issues, and that's why Barack Obama is such a far leftist ideologue. I'm predicting now, I predicted the abomination, that we would see a leftist political agenda, and that I'm predicting now that President Obama will not move to the center as Bill Clinton did.
And are we in bigger trouble than a lot of people imagine right now?
I think so, Rusty. In terms of foreign policy, I'm very concerned we'll have another terrorist attack, and that Iran, the Obama administration has no way of getting sanctions now through the UN. We're going to start hearing from the Obama administration we better accept a nuclear-armed Iran. Once we hear that, I'm afraid there'll be a war between Israel and Iran. I've been trying to prevent that. We're missing a classic opportunity to support the Green Movement and have change from within Iran. I emphasize this in my America for Sale, where I supported the Tea Party movement. Barack Obama has no solution to get people back to work. Higher taxes, more government, control of the economy. These are not solutions. As I said in America for Sale, we've got to get back to protecting U.S. workers, creating U.S. jobs, reducing taxes, and reducing government intervention in the economy. And I don't think Barack Obama will move in that direction.
God help us all, huh, Dr. Corsi?
Well, look, the great thing, let's be hopeful. We have Scott Brown. We did block health care. I don't think we're going to see cap and trade. And Barack Obama is now going to have to play defense, certainly through the 2010 election. And I think we ought to keep the pressure on to get back to conservative values, protect the United States of America, reduce taxes, get people back to work.
Well, and this book is a great one to let people understand what it is we're talking about. We've been talking about this book for years now, and maybe people are going to say, gosh, they were right a long time ago. I mean, there's more than 600 footnotes in this book.
And Rusty, we got the paperback edition is going to come out, and the list price is under $8, so you're going to be able to find it for, $6 or even less. And we wanted, Simon Schuster and I wanted this price point so that we can get this book into the hands of people, very available, so that it's affordable now, and I think people can really read The Abomination and absorb the background information and put it to good use.
Well, it's a great book. I enjoyed it the first time. I'm looking forward to there's some updates in this book, as I understand as well, correct?
New preface, a brand new preface.
All right, we'll check that out. Dr. Jerome Corsi is his name. The best website to read you is where?
WorldNet Daily. I'm a senior staff reporter.
WND.com. That's the best place. The book is out now, Abomination, now in paperback. Dr. Corsi, thank you so much. We'll talk to you again very, very soon.
Rusty, always great honor and pleasure. Thank you.
My pleasure. We'll take a quick one and be right back. Don't you dare go anywhere. We'll be back here on the